Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel and this week's game hunt on Whizbit's Random Gaming. Now this week, as you can see here, we're at Dalston Kingsland and we're heading down to a CEX that I haven't been to for some time. So I got there a bit early, so I thought let me check in with Ronald McDonald and get a bit of breakfast. Now the area seems to be getting better because during the time of my breakfast I only had 2 vagrants ask me for money and one of them asked me to top up their Oyster card. How things changed. It's all good though, I'm not complaining. I'm from East London and most of the areas are similar, so I'm kind of used to that sort of thing. However, someone asking me to top up their Oyster card, that was new on me. Anyway, as we check in at CEX today, we're just going to have a look in the window. A couple of things here that are more PC and VR related. Always nice to see them. I'm always intrigued by this kind of stuff, although it's not really something I'm ever really going to be aiming to buy. A very random standalone Nintendo Wii there, and we've got a copy of the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. Your standard Nintendo handhelds also taking place in the front window, and I absolutely love that 3DS there. It's the one that I would buy if I owned one. I just don't really need one. But wow, they have really held their price, haven't they? Now I almost managed to buy this Xbox, this limited edition one, off Facebook Marketplace not too long ago for £30. However, it was a little bit too far for me to travel to and the seller wasn't willing to post, which is understandable. I really like it. It's great to look at, but I wouldn't pay $130 for it because at the end of the day it does still look like a Betamax. Kids, if you don't know what a Betamax is, Google that. Now off the top of my head, just by looking at this, I don't recognise this limited edition PlayStation 4. I'm sure someone in the comments will. Let me know what it is. It looks to me like some sort of honeycomb edition and not very appealing, and not to me anyway. So before we head inside the shop, if you do like this kind of content, please may I ask you to consider subscribing to the channel, give the video a like, give us a share, leave us a comment, all that good stuff. It really does help me out and helps my content get seen by a larger audience. Now I've stopped trading Switch games in quite a while ago. I'm building the collection up. But one I did recently trade in was what you just saw there, Super Putty Squad. I think I got £10 on it at the time. I just couldn't get to grips with it. I did play it back in the day when it was a 16-bit game on the SNES. It hasn't held up well, and yeah, I just didn't really care if it was in the collection or not. Now, is there a Switch game that fluctuates in price as much as Killer Frequency? It's gone down to £6, it's been £8, it's been £10, it's £15. This one changes on a weekly basis. Regardless, I don't see it go over £15. So if you do feel that you want to pick that one up, I'd still say that is a very good price. We've got Astro Knight there. That's a really good game for £10. I've got it on a PlayStation 5. And this Bayonetta spin-off, the comic storybook. I love the Bayonetta games and I'm intrigued on this one. Can someone let me know in the comments if they've played that game and if it's worth picking up? I'd like to have the whole Bayonetta series, so I will get it at some point, but should I buy it sooner rather than later? And we've got the Cube there, minus Mr. Schofield, which is probably a good thing. Now this looks interesting, £20 though. I'll come back to that in a second. Welcome to the world that needs your help. Yeah, I think I might just save this one for Greta. I can think of better ways of playing my Nintendo Switch. Let's have a look at some consoles, some control pads as we have a look in the windows, and as always a pretty nice selection of control pads we see here. In particular for the Xbox, this black control pad, very clean, I must say. Now here is one, I think it's Halo based. I don't see this one out often at all. It's really nice. As is that orange one. I don't think I'd buy that one, but the box itself and that, it's really great for display purposes. But that Ghost Cypher one, I think that is gorgeous. Definitely one I'm going to consider picking up moving forward. My Xbox pads at home are quite bland. My son has took the jazzy ones. So I do need to invest in something a little bit more colourful, shall we say, on the Xbox. Your standard array of handhelds here, alongside a black Wii U and also a red Nintendo Wii. I always preferred the turquoise one that they brought out. I thought that was a really nice colour, but that's one of my favourite colours anyway, so I was always going to be more enamoured with that one. One console I have never owned is the PS Vita, I must say, and there's a reason why. Look how much a PS Vita memory card is, £58. Sony really scored an own goal when it came to creating their own memory cards, in particular that worked just for the Vita. Yeah, it was a backward step. Now, what in the name of a Red Dwarf ripoff is this? It looks like something Crichton would use for contraception. Although technically this is the Vita section, so it says on the sign here. Instead, they've amassed it with a huge selection of PSP titles, and that's a good thing. You don't see enough of these things out, and as you can see, a very small amount of PS Vita games, with one dirty cover reprinted in there, and it's the most interesting title out of the lot. And also a relatively solid OG Xbox selection as well. I love collecting for the OG Xbox. It's a system I'm still learning about. I was more of a PS2 guy back during that era, and for that reason I think it's time, or it's better that I explore the system whilst I'm in the midst of collecting as thoroughly as I am. I'm always on the lookout for Wii U games as well. The most uncommon one here was the most wonderful 101, as you can see there. Fortunately for myself, I've already got it, and there was nothing else really that took my fancy here. I pretty much had everything, and I didn't have that Just Dance, but I didn't want to buy it either. Although I did see this Wii Sports Club, and I do need to add it to the collection, but I just don't want to pay £35 for it. Now there's one you don't see too often. I bought this at a recent gaming market in London, and I haven't played it yet, and I really need to do a video on this one. Back to the Future. I've been told it's probably the most janky version of the game that you can get, but it's also a lot cheaper. The Xbox, the PlayStation 4 versions and the PS3, they go for a considerably higher price. Now this Pinball Classics is one I've been looking at for a while. It's £1.50, and this is a really clean copy today. Every time I tend to see it, it seems to be in really terrible condition. Now, I've seen this game before when I was in Stratford and I didn't buy it. I'm tempted today at £3, but I really need to just stop buying jank just for the sake of laughing at it. I mean, look, it says that you can pick multiple endings. Anyone that knows the story of the Titanic, you know how it ends. Multiple endings, what do you mean? Got red steel there, 50p. That's got to be the best game you can get for 50p in CEX. Yeah, and I'm not saying that and saying it's a good game, okay? I'm saying it might be the best game you can get for 50p. Now, one thing I've noticed whilst I'm here today, the PS3 sections, your PS2, your 360s that I'll be showing you along the course of the tour, they're all really quite small, and that goes for the Nintendo Switch as well. So although you do tend to find there's some good titles in and amongst what I see here today, there's definitely quite a shortage of stock here. For what reason, I don't know. It's not the biggest CEX, but at the same time, it's definitely not the smallest. Definitely a lack of stock here with this kind of era of gaming. And at the moment, I haven't seen anything retro based. And when I say retro based, I mean more your cartridge based stuff and your early disc based stuff like your PS1, your Super Nintendo, your Mega Drive, your Game Boys. I'm not seeing it, and it's not front and center as you walk into the shop. So maybe there is a small section somewhere, but it's not obvious upon entry in the Dalston Kingsland branch. It's been a while since I've been here, so I can't remember if it was the same last time. But yeah, I'll keep having a look, and hopefully we'll see something. Now, this Adventure Time game, £6. I was having a look at this one. I watched a lot of Adventure Time when my first son was born. He used to watch it as well. I have no idea what was going on. I just found it quite amusing. And I know a lot of these games actually go for quite a bit of money, especially on the Wii U. Now, Supreme Commander here at £2.50. I absolutely love the artwork on this one. It looks great. I've never actually seen this game. Now, unfortunately, upon reflection, when you look at the back of the game, it is the sort of game that I don't think I would touch in a million years. And like I say, I am trying to stop buying games just for the sake of it. But that artwork, wow, it's tempting. Very tempting. Now, there's a game that was recently delisted from digital stores, Dark Void. It didn't shoot up in price like many thought it would. It's kind of hovered around about the £2.50 to £3.50 mark ever since that was announced. I must admit I was quite surprised by that, because CEX2 love to jump on that kind of thing and increase the prices, as do the whole particular gaming community, if we're honest. Once something's delisted, they'll sell you a dream, and they'll tell you it's more valuable than it ever was. Now, whilst browsing at the Xbox 360, I couldn't help but notice this Blu-ray here of Demons 2. Great memories of this one in the 80s. One of the horror films that I watched as a young boy that left a real lasting impression on myself. And not necessarily a good one, you know. It absolutely scared the life out of me. Right, we saw the pretty basic 360 stock there. As I've said, it's quite small with each section that I'm looking at. So let's head on over to the PlayStation 3 and see if they've got a couple of gems in there. Again, it is of a similar size to the 360 section that I just recently showed you, which, like I say, was pretty small. Right, okay, here's one that I've been debating buying, 4 on the PlayStation 3. It's £10 and I'm just wondering why this game didn't go up in price like a few of the other Marvel games like Captain America and so on and so on. Spoiler alert, I left that one today and the main reason was I didn't think the cover looked too good. It's a bit grimy and yeah, we try and keep other people's grime outside the house where possible. Now, to let you know just how condensed the stock was in this particular shop, the PlayStation 4, which is one of the biggest sections in practically every CEX, even their section was relatively small in comparison to other PlayStation 4 sections you will see in other branches of CEX. Got Shovel Knight there, £10. If you don't own Shovel Knight, I think you owe it to yourself to pick up that game on the PS4 or the Xbox One or even the Nintendo Switch, which it's slightly more expensive on. Regardless of the system that you pick it up on, you've got a fantastic game awaiting you. Now, I've never seen that game before. Victor Vane, is that? And what on earth is Lemmy from Motorhead doing on the back of this game? It looks like some sort of card-based game as well. I'll be honest with you, I kind of gave up looking once I saw Lemmy on the back. As cool as Lemmy is, I don't quite know what relevance he is to this video game. Now, as you see there, Back to the Future as well on the X. And as I said earlier in the video, at a much higher price than its Nintendo Wii counterpart. Now this is really good, this deal here. You get Aladdin, you get the Lion King, and you get the Jungle Book for £8. 2 pretty solid Mega Drive games there, and one absolute classic in Aladdin. Now Aladdin is a game that I haven't actually finished on any system, so that might be a contender for an unfinished business episode moving forward. Now Rise is one of those games, I believe it was actually released alongside the Xbox One, one of those launch titles. I haven't actually got it in a physical format, and for the £2 I was considering picking it up today, but I had a look and the case was cracked, and yeah, I know it's not a difficult game to pick up, so it's not like I really need to pick that one up. You've got Cyberpunk there. I don't own Cyberpunk in any way, shape or form on any system. I'm confused. I know it had such a terrible launch, and I know people tell me that there is one particular version of that game that you should buy and others that you should leave. Can you let me know what your preference is in the comments below? I really would love your input on that one, as I'd rather buy the very best version possible than take home the subpar one. Now we're quite far into the video, and here we find Contra on the PlayStation 5. Now this is the first time I've actually ever seen that game out in the wild on any format, and I really want this game. But you know what? I don't want to pay £45 for a Contra game. Not today, anyway. I think I would rather buy it from a shop like Play Asia and purchase it for the Nintendo Switch maybe at some point. Now, as you can tell, we're quite far into this video, and I'm showing you disc-based stuff, I'm showing you consoles, I'm showing you control pads. We've not seen any retro yet. Where is it? It's pretty alarming, to be quite honest, that most of them, they have something at least. Okay, PlayStation Move Street Cricket 2 is a thing. I learnt this today. Take it to the street. Yeah. Maybe not. Well, I was thinking about snapping this one up as well. What with the obsession with pig games at the moment. Someone's going to come out soon and tell everyone that this has got sound effects from Resident Evil 3 in it. And the price is going to spike by about £50. Okay, so as we was paying for what I picked up today, here we find the retro. It's a very, very small section, and it's just by the counter actually. Now, I do remember this Mega Man Legends was in this particular branch on my last visit, which was a good 8 to 9 months ago. Got some good titles in here, although there isn't a great amount of them. I really do like Kid Chameleon on the Mega Drive, a game I used to play a lot of around friends' houses. And the Saturn version of Croc is up 4 times the price of the PlayStation 1 copy. So yeah, that was a pretty poor selection, as you can see, of retro games towards the end there. I thought we'd see more, but what I picked up today, we picked up The Sopranos. I found a copy with a manual at last. I've been after it for a while. We picked up Days Gone. There's a lot of talk in one of the Discords that I go into about this game. A lot of people would love this game, and I haven't given it much of a chance. So I thought I'd pick it up on a physical version, and that might give me the impetus to play it a lot more. We've also got this Monkey King game on the PlayStation 4. Now, I picked this up for £1 or maybe £1.50 on Amazon a few years back, and I traded it straight in and got £10 to £15 credit. I wouldn't say I regret that, but I thought it's best to bring it back into the collection whilst it is such a cheap price at £4. We've got Grand Theft Auto Liberty Cities. It's the only one that I don't own in the PlayStation collection. Happy to add that one. It's finally done. And yeah, I picked up that Pinball Classics games that you saw earlier in the video at £1.50. The copy almost looks like it's brand new, and it's got everything inside it. The manual is really mint, and yeah, it's pinball, and I don't mind playing pinball every now and then. It's a nice distraction from the more hectic games in my collection. Anyway guys, that was Dalston Kingsland CEX. All in all, not a bad shop. I think I picked up some good stuff today. But yeah, the stock there was in short abundance. The sections were quite small, and it was quite disappointing in some of the way it was laid out, particularly the retro stuff that you only saw there towards the end, and you would only see if you moved towards the back of the shop, and as I did when I was about to purchase some items. Let me know what you guys think anyway of the Dalston Kingsland shop. Was there anything I should have picked up? Anything that you think I shouldn't have picked up? Until